Hey ladies, so we're going to get into it today and we are going to talk about the real reason why so many Black women are single. What is going on? What's happening? Why does it feel like so many women, especially between the ages of 35 and 50, are still single, still looking for the husband, never been married yet? And you may be saying, everyone around me looks like they have someone. What's going on? Or you may feel like, I'm seeing so many smart, successful Black women not in relationships. What is happening? So I think there's a lot of things we're going to talk about. And in this video, I'm just going to be real. I'm just going to share what I'm seeing and how it is. I own a dating club, and the truth is there is a higher percentage of women who are single than Black men that are looking. And I think this is the first thing I want to talk about because I personally feel it's the one that's most prevalent in my mind. I do feel that for whatever reason, as Black women, we have allowed Black love to have a chokehold on us, okay? We have really just been saying, I want Black love and I need a Black man. And the only type of situation I'm entering is with a Black man. And when you look at the data, right, of available Black men who are at the same level of Black women, it doesn't compute. It actually does not compute, right? For so many historical reasons. I think number one, if you just, let's like really go back right around the 50s and 60s, I feel like there was a campaign to start to separate the Black family, right? Whether it was the civil rights movement, whether it was more and more Black women having to take over the household, whether it's the drug situation that jailed so many men because I feel like Black men are overcharged. So we have more and more Black men entering the prison system. And then we have Black men who are not at the same education level as far as outpacing Black women. So all these factors are happening, right? And I just personally believe that we just have all these Black women who are educated, running businesses. And the problem is they're all looking at the same 20% of men that are available. Literally, that is what's happening. And like I said, for me, even in my dating club, what I'm seeing is that there is a plethora of men, right, in this group, but then everyone is looking for the same 20% of Black men. And I think that's what's happening globally, right? I don't even think this is a US issue. I think this is happening in other parts of the world. And what I'm also noticing is that, for example, there was a TikToker I saw and, she was getting attention of white men. And then, she said, I tried it a bit, but I realized like I still want to be with a Black man. And that's fine. Like, I'm not sitting here to judge you. It's fine if that's what you want. But I don't understand this concept when there's not enough Black men, right? So it's okay to want what you want. But I also personally believe that when you as a Black woman literally open up and say, look, I am open for love. I'm open to someone who's going to take care of me, who's going to cherish me, who's going to adore me, who's really going to pour into me, who's going to be a supportive partner versus race. I personally feel that you're just going to find more fulfillment in dating. And I know that was my situation, right? I personally was like, look, I am open to love and I'm open to the situation. And I got married at 34. And the interesting thing is I ended up marrying a Black man, but I wasn't tied to that outcome, right? I literally let go of that outcome. I was like, I just want someone who's at my level or more, who's going to support me, who's going to adore me. That's what I was looking for. But I personally feel that for whatever reason, there's just too many Black women that are vocally saying they have to be with a Black man. They don't want other races for so many different reasons. And it's interesting because Black men are not doing the same thing, right? So while most Black men will end up marrying a Black woman, I'm not seeing the same outpouring from Black men saying they have to be with a Black woman. And in fact, when I talk to Black men, even though their preference is Black women, they are consistently saying 9 times out of 10, I'm open to other things. I'm open to other situations, right? And ladies, let's be honest. Are Black men protecting us at the same level other races? No. No, they're not. They're not. Let's have that real honest conversation. I feel that, Black women are upholding Black men to a certain standard, and I'm not seeing the same for Black men, right? I'm not seeing the same type of energy. So I personally feel that as a collective, if we let go of this outcome, I personally feel that we're going to find more success in dating, right? And I also feel that if we let go of Black love, I don't know where Black love started. I don't know if it was a campaign. I don't know if it started with Black women. I'm not really sure where this campaign came from. And like I said, I'm for it, but I'm also for the reality of things, right? And I just personally feel that if we start to really just open up, I personally think we're going to just have a different experience. And I think we're going to see less and less. I think we're going to see less Black women in this predicament of being single, right? And also just want to preference, there's nothing wrong with being single. So being married is not the goal, right? It is a part of life. And if that's what you aspire to be, you should get it. But we're just literally talking about this situation right now because so many people literally ask why are so many Black women single. I think another reason why a lot of Black women are single is because we were not socially programmed to put marriage first, right? So I think because of family dynamics, again, and I talked about this earlier, where a lot of Black women are growing up in single mother households. You're used to seeing your mother being independent. You're used to seeing your mother as the breadwinner. And personally, a lot of us might have been in situations where we were literally at the poverty line or below the poverty line. So at the end of the day, you're not thinking about marriage, right? You're not thinking about a partnership. You're thinking about how do I survive? And the way you think of surviving is through education. And through education, you say you're going to get a job and you're going to increase your wealth, right? You're going to increase wealth coming back into the family. So I personally feel that a lot of Black women are told, go to school, get an education, make your money, be independent. That is the way you're going to live your life. And they're not told while you're in school. And the interesting thing about college is that that is the time you're going to see the most amount of educated men around you, right? Like literally everywhere you go, everyone is getting an education. We're not told that's the time to look. That's the time to lock down. A lot of times because we are positioned to get a first degree, get a master's, get an MBA, get a law degree, go to medical school. By the time we finish all these degrees, we're in our mid-30s, we're looking around and everybody's hooked up. Versus I think other races of women, specifically white women, are programmed and socialized to start looking for a partner early, whether it's through high school or specifically in college. And I can speak to this directly because I was on a cheerleading team with predominantly white women. I went to high school with predominantly white women. And when I think about after college and, I went on Facebook, all of them are married, right? Most of them met their husband in college. That was what they were programmed to do. Even more interestingly is one of my best friends, right? So she went to predominantly white school, and I purposely think because she was seeing what was going on around her, she found her husband directly in college, and before you know it, she moved on with her life, right? By the time she finished college, she was ready to go. And I think it's such a different experience versus me. I went to historically Black college, and all the women around me were like, I'm the first one to get educated in my family. I'm focused on getting my degree. I'm focused on getting my job. And a lot of us came out of college without a man, without a husband, right? And if you're in the South, it's a little different because I do think that there's a little bit more socialization around making sure you get a husband in college. But it's not the norm throughout, I think, the Black woman experience. So I also think that is the challenge as well, is that so many of us are looking for our husbands way after school. And there's a little bit of, I think, controversy around this because I personally feel that I like that I'm married in my 30s because I feel like I know who I am. I understand myself. I'm very clear on my boundaries. I'm very clear on what brings me joy. And so my husband is adding to that joy. But the other side of it is that it's harder, right? Because now I'm 36 and I'm now just looking at having a child, right? Much later in life. And I also feel like it's a risk because like I said before, there's less and less Black men as you're getting older to a certain extent until I think you hit your 50s and then you're kind of dealing with this pool of Black men who are divorced, right? Or in their 40s, you're dealing with a pool of Black men that might be divorced. But kind of in your 30s, it's this weird in between stage because you're essentially dealing with a lot of men that are locked up. And again, here's the cycle. Because so many of us are like Black love, it just shrinks our pool. So I think these are some of the reasons why so many Black women are single. I think it's family dynamics. I think it's because of Black love. I also think because we are not socialized to look for men during college. And unfortunately, by the time we start looking, it's a little bit later in life and there's a whole host of different challenges you're dealing with. I think there's a lot of reasons, but I think another thing that's important to share here about Black women being single and why does it feel like so many of us are, the truth is 86% of women do get married, right? And about 76% of Black men will marry a Black woman. So I think that it seems like the internet makes it feel like everyone is single, every Black woman is single, and that there's no men around us. And I personally believe in abundance. And I always tell women, as you go about your day, think of abundance. Think that there's always someone there out there for you. And also, I want to talk about the tropes because I also think there's these tropes of like Black women have attitude. Even recently, a man was insinuating Black women are violent, and these are far from the truth, right? We are not a monolith. There's so many different types of Black women, and I personally feel that we are beautiful, and I personally feel that we are positioned to be amazing partners for these men out here. So I personally want you to think about the mindset because I truly believe that part of the dating challenges that Black women are facing is there's so many messaging around we're not good enough, we're not as pretty, we have the bottom of the barrel, there's not enough for us, we're in competition with each other. And I think when you start to switch your mindset into an abundance mindset and realizing that there's always a man, another man is coming in 15 minutes, and that my time will be my time, I personally feel like you're going to experience dating differently, right? And I also personally going to think that you're going to start to remove that burden and that weight that is put upon Black women. Don't hold other people's burdens, okay? Do not hold it. It's not your own. You're living your life. And trust me, if you're watching this video and you're single, the person that's for you is going to come. Of course, if you like more of these type of chit chat videos, I'm just speaking raw. I'm just saying what it is. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Every Wednesday, I drop an educational video, and every Sunday, I'm just going to talk directly to you on a current subject. Can't wait to see you next week.